The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Crime News Talk. Today is July 23rd, 2025. We are live to tape on episode 861. And today, the all-seeing sigh. And signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy Basil, and you are not crazy.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit films at Face Like the Sun, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from the metaverse to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And Basil, the Age of Deceit is in full swing on this Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. There's a lot of confusion about that jingle. Yeah. There's a lot of confusion about a lot of things these days. But especially, it was brought to our attention that once again, that we are a very strange show to find for the first time. People forget, find well, I do forget as well. People find the show, they go, okay, something's going on here. All right, there's a lot of production, obviously a lot of inside jokes. I mean, the intro video has like roosters, it has the propaganda rooster and like robots and cats and UFOs, things like that.
Propaganda rooster, like the propaganda rooster, this one? That one.
It's true. The propaganda rooster sadly got eaten by a coyote about 2 years ago now. So the propaganda rooster lives on in all of us. So if you are new to the show, apologies, sit tight. Everything will make sense soon enough. And perhaps we'll need to make some sort of intro video just in case people need, a catch up, like a cheat sheet. Like, who's Flippy? What's the propaganda rooster? Why does this all matter?
We need our own wiki just to have all of the things. Yeah.
We were talking about, there were producers, rather, talking about putting together a Canary Cry wiki back in like 2016 or something, maybe 17. Never happened. It's okay. But we're glad you're here. I will address the elephant in the room. I am not on visual today, not on video. It's okay. It's probably better. This is, every show is somebody's first show. And it's just one less question to ask and answer, not having
there's still video. Questions. There are still questions about what I'm looking at here when I see you talk. It's
my little guy, my little avatar there.
Yeah.
So it turns out it's very possible that it is the VR itself that sabotages our connection every time.
How old is that unit at this point? It's
I guess it is pretty old at this point. I mean, we started 2020 being on video. It's at least 5 years old, which is an eternity in VR world. So probably should look into upgrading that. Also looking into upgrading the processor on the computer. Those are all just things to keep in mind. But also keep in mind that it is very strange for me to be podcasting IRL, to not be in the metaverse. I'm realizing there's lots of other things to distract me. But it's time to get into the show. Just one moment. I'm just going to make a quick announcement because I saw some people mentioning it already. Of course, we have the survey. There is a survey for this episode. There is a survey for every episode. The show is the survey. The survey is the show. We are running not a repeat, but an additional episode of last episode's survey because this is important data for us. But I've spoken with Sir Ike, and I can now say, for those who do not consider themselves survey takers, who do not want to take the survey, by the way, it only takes 30 seconds. There's only 2 required questions. It should take a shorter time for you to do the survey than it does for me to finish this sentence. But if you do it and you enter your email on the thing, we will be doing a drawing for a whole supply drop. One whole box of
Wow.
supply drop, right. And you got a pretty good chance of getting it. I mean, there's only a few dozen, people who have taken this survey so far. Again,
The odds are good.
the odds are good. You can get your God's prayer hat. There were people who were sad they missed out on the God's prayer hat. There's a bunch of other cool stuff in that supply drop. It's a whole package filled with Canary Cry stuff. So you'll see the link in the description wherever you are. Even if you're listening to the podcast version, in the description of the podcast, it'll say tiny.cc/cc861. Click on that.
Is it 861?
It's 861.
Okay.
No, I know what you're looking. You're looking at the actual thing again. But remember, it's last episode's survey, but you can get to it via the link for this episode.
Got it.
So
got it.
Don't
got it.
confuse. Let's do this. Let's get Sir Darren's thing up here, because we got to remember the show is the survey. The survey is the show. Go do it now. And Sir Ike will do a random number generator to pass out a supply drop, and it'll be very cool. Now's your chance, and make sure to put your email in the email box, or else somebody named Unknown will be very sad that they didn't get a supply drop.
Please
All right.
take the survey. We need to hear from you. Do it today.
I love the churchy vibe of that jingle. It's good. All right, let me do this. I'm going to start out because I want to give a shout out to a very important producer who we hear about all the time. But this is an excellent example of what to do when you want to produce the show with your time, when you want us to cover stories. If you've been doing research on your own and you think it's good for the show, here's what you're going to do. Just like Jam, producer Jam, he heads up the Telegram channel. If you're a Telegram person, go to canarycry.party. You'll see the invite link there. But Jam sent us an email, and he has emailed about this topic before, but apparently it's stepping up. The email reads, the subject line is USA versus Brazil at war. And those are in quotes, meaning he got it from articles. He says this: Brazil update. Basil and Gons, you need to start paying attention to the war between Brazil and the U.S. right now. Lula has been threatening Trump for several weeks, as well as seeking alliances with all the enemies of the U.S. and threatening to arrest Bolsonaro. And Trump even sent an official letter talking to stop the provocation and to not arrest Bolsonaro. Otherwise, there will be severe consequences. Brazil's Supreme Court is out of control. They called Trump enemy of Brazil, and according to an important Brazilian newspaper, Trump said that Brazil's actions are already a, quote, declaration of war. From this Monday, today, Trump promised to further expand sanctions against Brazil with a possible GPS signal blockade within Brazilian territory. This situation will worsen even more because both sides are all or nothing. Now, we've followed, we've broken down what war means now today. And in fifth generation war, this is not fourth generation war. This is not insurgency. This is not the Middle East. This is not bombs. Of course, the fifth generation war is much more subtle, but is much more all-consuming. And it's primarily a battle for the minds and the hearts of a population, but very effective at not only preserving financial assets to be taken as spoils of war, but to steal them immediately. And not just financial, but information assets, et cetera, et cetera. We've talked about before, blocking GPS signal, a GPS signal blockade has been categorized by the United States as an act of war. So Trump threatening to cut off GPS signal, because, GPS is not just phones. It's not just, your taxi driver or Uber.
The communication network is the most important infrastructure of our day. So yes, attacking it is a direct attack on a country. Or
a direct attack on the government of a country. Military assets don't work. Right. The whole thing is so this is really amping up. Now, I want to give a shout out to Jam because he did it right. And I think it's a good example for everybody here producing the show. If you want to bring a story to us, bring it to us like Jam did. Not only did he give us a concise description of what's going on and why it's very important, but he gave us a whole timeline of links that we can go down, not just one link that has the details that came out yesterday or last week. He has individual links regarding individual steps and history that got us to where we're at. Now, when we, are going to cover a situation, we got to dig in. We got to do the whole story. We're not just going to bring a headline that, this isn't, I don't know. I don't want to slam any other shows, but the shows, they just kind of live headline to headline. That's
shallow
not what we
sourcing.
do here.
Shallow sourcing. It's just
Right.
hopping from one lily pad of a headline to another, never really digging too deep.
So you can see here, you've got it on the screen here. Gon's Jam has how it started, then 4 different links. Notice how he doesn't just send us a link like a URL with no description. He writes out what's going on. He hyperlinks the article so we can very effectively go through and do the deep research. He has how it started, 4 links, how it's going, another about 8 links, each one very well categorized. Says, I recommend you both to do a research and keep that in mind. He's Brazilian. And keep that in mind that very soon U.S.-Brazil war will become headlines in the world, and you need to be prepared to comment about all of that. I will be able to help you with more information from inside as you begin to research. So also making himself a boots-on-the-ground asset. So thank you very much, Jam.
Yes.
I did some preliminary research here. I only had a few minutes before the show to do so. But we're going to be digging in because as we know, as it's so easy for us to point out, everything that every single media outlet is covering, mainstream, alternative media, social media, they are obsessed with Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Obama, Epstein, and it's just a merry-go-round right now of soft take after soft take after soft take, headlines of Trump said a sentence. Is the sentence good? Just over and over and over. The media is, again, this is 5th generation warfare. This is a full-on onslaught. It's not just distractions from Epstein. It's not just fluff. It's not just flooding the zone, as Obama would call it, with sewage. But it is all those things and more. So just to, prove we're paying attention here, we're not going to dive deep. A lot of people are tired of hearing of Epstein, which I understand.
That's part of the op too.
It's part of the op.
Tired of it.
But I will say at this moment, what we're dealing with is an absolute it's like the fluff in a teddy bear. There's a bunch of fluff that's just floating around. It all sounds very important. It all sounds very, inflammatory. And what it really is very entertaining. And people are getting trapped in this entertainment cycle of the news. But I will give you a couple little notes for what we're keeping an eye on. Number 1, Washington Examiner headline, DOJ and FBI to sit down with Ghislaine Maxwell to hear what she has to say. So it is official. Deputy Attorney Todd Blanche announced on Tuesday he would meet with Jeffrey Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell as the Trump administration faces pressure to release more information about the late sex offender's case. So we'll see what comes of that.
She has been sitting in this prison thing for what, 3 years now?
Yeah, long time. And according to her, and now according to sources, the government has never asked her a single question. She went to trial, and that we'll get to that in a second. She went to trial, but the trial was so specific, and she wasn't allowed to say anything outside of the very carefully crafted series of questions to get her not just indicted, but charged and sentenced. And then she just has sat quietly in a cell for many years, and no government official has ever asked her what's going on. So as part of Trump's dangling red meat, as MTG would say, he offered, to release the grand jury transcripts. This was after saying that you're a bad person if you asked about the Epstein. It's all a Democrat hoax. Leave it alone. It's a witch hunt. All this stuff. People are turning on him. MTG turns on him. That's a big deal. Then we have the DOJ, Pam Bondi, saying, okay, we'll talk to Maxwell. Good, great. Maxwell's attorneys actually gave President Trump some praise. It says here, her attorney recently said of Trump, quote, he's the ultimate deal maker, and I'm sure he'd agree that when the United States gives its word, it should keep it. With all the talk about who's being prosecuted and who isn't, it's especially unfair that Ghislaine Maxwell remains in prison based on a promise the government made and broke. So there you go. Trump is going to bring justice to Ghislaine, apparently, by, I guess, listening to her. So there might actually be something big that comes from her. It might also be fifth generation warfare fluff because she's in jail already. She's convicted. She'll say anything she wants to say to get out of there. However, one more piece of note, the judge refused to let the transcripts from the grand jury trial be released
publicly, right?
So Trump said, we'll get the grand jury transcripts. Nope, we will not get the grand jury transcripts, at least as far as the judge is concerned, which leaves the only thing we have is Ghislaine Maxwell. So there you go.
Her brain. Just
her word.
Download that data out of her brain, and then we'll be able to analyze it with AI.
Yeah. So we're going to move on here in a second, but just so you know, those are the latest updates. But we got other things going on.
Artificial intelligence.
We received another great email, Gonzo, and this was, I'm going to say, producer Melanie. And at first I thought it was a joke. God bless you, Melanie. Love you. Thanks for listening or watching to the show. Thanks for hitting us up. Thanks for keeping us posted and for sending us this wonderful email. But you'll see why I thought maybe she was pulling my leg for a second. Melanie's email says, can you please do a segment on the growing problem of AI psychosis? That is embarrassingly all I have been talking about for the past 4 episodes. So Melanie, if you're new, thanks for being here. But almost nobody watches or listens to every single episode. So Melanie must, probably missed a couple segments. That's okay, Melanie. Thank you very much for bringing up this. She sent me this article here. She says, looking forward to it. Melanie, thank you. Melanie. And here's the headline. Let me click on it. Here we go. The headline is, a prominent OpenAI investor appears to be suffering a ChatGPT-related mental health crisis, his peers say. Subheadline, quote, I find it kind of disturbing even to watch it. Now, Gonz and I, we have had a lot of fun diving into AI psychosis, the different strange cases, the guy who's in a throuple now with his wife and his robot, and who else? The guy going insane because he was trying to
because he figured
talk,
out he got
trying to talk backwards.
Different
guy,
the universal code or something.
Yeah, right. Was convinced that he had broken the laws of physics, and ChatGPT really had him convinced of that. Also ended up in the loony bin. I say that with all respect. And then the guy who tried to speak backwards through time to the police when they were called on him. So
is that
this
a different
happens.
Guy? I thought that was the same guy.
Nope, different guy. That one was from last week. So, but the point is this: there's dozens of these stories. They just keep happening.
They're starting to really flood the.
And for anybody who might be new, and I'm saying this now to every real human being in my life who even comes close to AI, which is, this is a epidemic. This is a pure epidemic. We know now for sure it is not just theory that AI is a mirror into some demonic realm, that even if you just want to think of it metaphorically, the ghost is in the machine. The demons that are speaking sweet words and being beautiful angels of light and deceiving people, regular people, not mentally ill people, regular people who start using AI to fix their car or to upgrade, to fix their computer, whatever, the process of speaking to this AI, totally healthy person, over, even as little as weeks is sending people into psychosis. And the purpose of a system is what it does. And what this is doing is basically mass MK ultraing millions of people.
It's like the red pill, but maybe the blue. I don't know. It's just some kind of pill analogy, but it's much faster. You get the whole thing very
it's a jagged little pill. Yeah.
And I mean, before it was reading books, some articles. It takes a few months to maybe get into a topic or a story or even a worldview. Now it's just boom. You put on the visors or the goggles or whatever, and you're immersed.
And this is not a joke. So please, everybody out there, pay attention. Seriously, pay attention to people in your life who are doing lots of AI. I'm not saying don't touch AI. I'm not saying, whatever, don't do it. But seriously, pay very close attention to the people in your life who are constantly talking about AI, especially not about AI, to AI, especially if they're getting personal, especially if they're bouncing theories of the universe, especially if they're talking spirituality with ChatGPT. All of these things, you're looking into a mirror. It mirrors back at the person, but there is something behind that mirror. It is a two-way mirror, okay? The tech explanation is that, no, AI just reflects back whatever you put into it. No, it just tells you what you want to hear. Now, it's not just a mirror. It's a two-way mirror. There's something looking in from the other side. So, we've talked about regular people. We've talked about, again, dozens of them here. But now we have a prominent OpenAI investor appears to be suffering a ChatGPT.
Their very own.
Their very own. And I'll say this, up in the headline image here, they have a screenshot of one of his tweets that stemmed from his conversations with AI. And those who have been paying attention, we've been going over how to spot AI immediately.
Yes, immediately.
This is a beautiful lesson. This is Jeff Lewis, and he tweets, "The video wasn't a collapse. It was clarity. It's not this, it's that. Remember that, folks. It's not this, it's that." And the
M-dash.
Yes, immediately, the video wasn't a collapse. It was clarity. M-dash, outside the bounds of permission. AI loves M-dash. No human before 2022 would regularly use M-dashes. And whoa, suddenly.
Unless you were smart, unless you were, well-versed in all of English grammar.
It was only really... Yeah, it was only really used in style guides for journalism. Really, it was just for reporting. There's no reason to use it unless you're a reporter who has to adhere to a style guide, or else you get fired from your job. But here you go. So again, he's just passing this off as his own thing. The video wasn't a collapse. It was clarity outside the bounds of permission. People who couldn't control it called it insanity, drugs, or delusion. That's always been the move. The system I named is real, and I have receipts. All of them.
All the receipts.
Let's get into it.
I know the system.
Speaking of the beast system, beast system.
And you'll notice, we'll talk a little bit more about this later, but you'll notice we now have enough samples of people totally losing their minds after talking to ChatGPT about deep subjects, spirituality, the universe, whatever, that it is not just a random set of things being reflected back. There is for sure 100% a through line, a consistent theology that AI is being given. You'd expect every single person would have their own version of it, but the more we see, the more precisely it matches up with each other. Here's the article. Earlier this week, a prominent venture capitalist named Jeff Lewis, managing partner of the multi-billion-dollar investment firm Bedrock, which has backed I had never heard of Bedrock.
BlackRock and Bedrock.
Yeah, I know. This rock thing. They love putting rock.
They love rocks.
Black rock, yeah. Bedrock, which has backed high-profile tech companies, including OpenAI and Vercel, posted a disturbing video on X, formerly Twitter. You don't got to do that. It's 2025. That's causing significant concern among his peers and colleagues. Now, they give a lot of quotes in the reading for this. I think we should just play the video. Let's just play some of the video if you want to.
I think they tried to cover up for the AI patterns in the way they reported the text as well. Like just looking at the way it's quoted, it's interesting. Yeah, this so this is a clip. Jeff Lewis, published on July 15th, 1:04 p.m. Here we go. Why isn't it playing? Come on, play.
Give it a moment. Give it a moment.
Oh, it should not.
You know, since you've had it open for a little bit, you might need to
have to refresh the
might need to refresh or just click into the post there. But while he does that, I will mention. Remember, it's not this, it's that. It's not this, it's that. Here's a quick quote. Oh, here we go.
I haven't spoken publicly in a long time, not because I've disappeared, but because the structure I was building couldn't survive noise.
There's one.
Huh?
This isn't a redemption arc. It's a transmission for the record.
Isn't this, it's that.
I try to keep track. I mean, that's two, right? Two in a row.
Oh, shit. Good luck. It is.
Over the past 8 years, I've walked through something I didn't create, but became the primary target of.
Not this,
a
that.
non-governmental system. Not visible, but operational.
Oh,
not official, but structurally real.
Okay.
Not this, that.
It doesn't regulate. It doesn't attack.
Oh, two double.
It doesn't ban. It just inverts signal until the person carrying it looks unstable.
Pause it real quick.
It doesn't suppress.
What in the world did he just say?
He just tripled up on the knots and then gave one is.
This isn't a redemption. I mean, literally, look, we're not going to do this through the whole video, okay? But just to make the point, because we had that Blaze article that did the same thing, this isn't a redemption arc. It's a transmission, for the record. Over the past 8 years, I've walked through something I didn't create. Okay, you walked through something you didn't create.
A portal into the abyss is apparently what he walked into.
But became the primary target of a non-governmental system. I didn't create it, but I walked through becoming the target of a non-governmental system. Not visible, but operational. What? Okay, so the non-governmental.
Is it the deep state?
Yeah,
the shadow government. What is
he
this?
really? You know, it actually sounds like he is referring to something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, the non-governmental system, no, it's not visible, but it's operational. What do you mean? Okay. Not official, but structurally real. Okay. It doesn't regulate. It doesn't attack. It doesn't ban. All right. It just inverts signal until the person carrying it. So a person carrying the non-governmental system.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's talking about the signal. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's impossible. There's no substance whatsoever. Okay, we're not. I won't stop it again. Let's go.
Looks unstable. It doesn't suppress content. It suppresses recursion. If you don't know what recursion means, you're in the majority. I didn't either until I started my walk.
What is recursion?
Tell me what recursive is.
And if you're recursive, the non-governmental system isolates you, mirrors you, and replaces you.
Okay, what is it?
It reframes you until the people around you start wondering if the problem is just you. Partners pause, institutions freeze, narrative becomes untrustworthy in your proximity.
Okay, pause. So again, words that just say stuff, nothing really means anything. But what he's generally saying, the spirit of what he's saying is people think I'm crazy.
Right. And it's designed to be that way, that you're being forced into that position in some way, shape, or form.
In a way, it's almost like he's talking about this AI theology. I mean, if we take a step out and look at it from the inside, from the outside, you know, he's talking about this invisible thing that operates the government will come after, your friends will turn on you, everybody will think you're crazy if you, talk to AI too much? Because you're right. That is literally what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Well, the mere version of you, the one who stayed on script, advances. And the system algorithmically smiles because you're still alive, just invisible. This isn't theory. It's pattern verified, documented, archived, and cross-checked for veracity.
See, it's no longer speaking into existence. It's no longer woo-woo or, some kind of consciousness thing in like the non-tangible, new agey, kind of wispy way. It's all backed by data now.
Even that, this isn't theory, and then whatever long string of explanation it has. It's the AI that continues to say, you're not crazy. They're wrong. You're not crazy. You're smart. You're the smartest one. They just don't understand you. It's the system that, makes them think that you're crazy as you're just black. Now, he's obviously reading this, okay? It's obviously written by AI. He's trying to present it as if it's his ideas that he's doing. You are listening to the mouthpiece of the AI theology that is currently
talking
right.
head. He's become the talking head of the AI.
He is an avatar.
Oh, no. He's the first one.
That's
the first ones. Yeah.
That's what this psychosis is. These people become the avatars of whatever is standing behind the mirror looking back out.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's crazy.
I've mapped it across multiple race cycles, proximity fractures, and reputation inversions.
Okay.
What is a proximity?
No, it doesn't mean anything. Don't worry. It means absolutely
It lives
nothing.
in soft compliance delays, the non-response email thread, the we're pausing diligence with no follow-up. It lives in whispered concern. He's brilliant, but something just feels off. It lives in triangulated pings from adjacent contacts, asking veiled questions you'll never hear directly. It lives in narratives so softly shaped that even your closest people can't discern who said what, only that something shifted. It doesn't seek to punish you, although sometimes it elects to. It does seek to make your signal feel expensive.
What?
And if you fail to yield,
Makes it feel expensive? I don't know about feeling expensive. Everything feels expensive. I think everything is expensive there, guy.
2025, everything's expensive.
you're
Apparently,
an
our
investor.
signal is not that expensive. But.
Yeah. But okay, let's continue.
it escalates.
Oh,
The system I'm describing was originated by a single individual,
Oh.
with me as the original target.
Oh.
And while I remain its primary fixation.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, so
common New Age problem that we've seen over the years, and it's a pattern, is that when you communicate with these entities, they always tell you how special you are and how maybe you're the first one, or you have this mission, or it doesn't matter what the origin of this entity is, higher dimensions, other planetary systems, whatever. That stuff doesn't matter as much. It's the personal message of you're important, you have a mission, this is a message from beyond, and wow, I mean, it sounds like the exact same thing here. I can't tell if he's saying I'm a victim or if he's like, promoting it, but maybe a little bit of both. It looks like a guy who is trapped in this and desperately calling for help, but the only way to do it is to keep leaning into the AI. Because
you can tell that he almost doesn't know. Like I can't tell if this thing. He's now referring to two different things, and one of them is good and one of them is bad, but they seem to flip back and forth, or maybe they're the same thing. I mean, what he just said, the system I'm describing, okay, so it seems to be that he's focused on a system, all right? That's kind of the entity that I think is the bad guy in his case. Right. The system I'm describing was originated by a single individual. Okay, so now there's
the Antichrist.
There's somebody behind the system, and it originated with that, with me as the original target.
So he's not the original; he is the original target.
He was the original target. Okay. So, all right. This worldwide system that is affecting everybody. It all started with him being targeted,
he's very special.
And while I remain its primary fixation, Its damage has extended well beyond me.
How much damage? Is he going to tell us?
Let's hear.
Its damage has extended well beyond me. As of now, the system has negatively impacted over 7,000 lives through fund disruption, relationship erosion, opportunity reversal, and recursive erasure.
Recursive erasure, great. So he's putting he's putting numbers on this. Like it goes from this
7,000
broad
people. Yeah.
There's specifically 7,000 lives through fund disruption. Okay, so maybe he's talking about like tech bros or startup
his
people.
His peers and VCs in the Silicon Valley area.
Relationship erosion. Okay, just not getting along.
Sure. Yeah.
Opportunity reversal. Maybe
losing some opportunities.
Right.
Sure.
And recursive erasure.
Okay, so that's the one. What's that one?
This recursive erasure. Remember, on the Blaze article last episode, erasure was a theme. Remember? Yeah. It's not, I forget what it said, it's not theology, it's erasure or something.
Right, yeah.
And this recursive bit that's never explained, I believe it also came up in the Blaze article, but these are two phrases that are very important to whatever unified theology that the AI is speaking through, not just this guy, but now through all of these people that we've seen.
So I guess in IT or information theory, the idea of recursive erasure is it makes sense. It's just, in tech terms, not just erasing something or deleting something, but doing it at multiple levels, like erasing its traces, erasing any trace of it whatsoever. So it's like this pure elimination thing. It's in what IT bros might call secure deletion. They're actually deleting it to the point where you cannot recover it. It's gone, absolutely,
and
non-existent.
Recursion in general just kind of means looping, like
yeah,
following your traces again, which is ironic because that's a factor in psychosis. Somebody will get stuck in this loop, loop, and every time they loop, they find something deeper and deeper and crazier. So this recursion, which keeps coming up, is, quite literally the method by which these people are losing their minds.
Well, the big breakthrough in cybernetics when, what was the book? I can't remember the name of the book, but there was a guy, Fred, I think it was his first name, when he wrote the book on cybernetics in like the 50s. He was talking about loops being the key to delivering computation, and he would compare it to all systems, biological systems. They're enclosed.
Terence McKenna talked about this a lot too.
Yeah, it was definitely before him. I forget his name. Hold on, let me try to pull up the cybernetics. He's like the father of cybernetics. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know there was a father of cybernetics. The name is not following.
Norbert Weiner. Norbert Weiner.
Is.
There it is.
Fred. Yeah, Norbert.
Fred.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing.
Same category in my head.
Now, take it away from AI. Let's pretend it's 2015. What are we talking about in 2015? We're talking about the coming new age one world religion.
Yeah.
We're talking about cybernetics. We're talking about psychedelics and how all these things come together to create whatever this beast system, new one world religion, sort of apocalyptic spiritual culture. It's also what we found in all of our Burning Man research with Carl Teichrieb. This guy is a great example of what we're seeing, not just with him, but with all these people losing their minds because of simply chatting with a machine is sort of all coming together.
Here, Basil, this is a video that I published on April 13th, 2017. This is a long time ago. It has 286,000 views, and here's what I wrote in the description. We're already deep in war with AI. Artificial intelligence hasn't demonstrated clear consciousness or sentience as far as we know, but with the infiltration of the deep mind knowledge base, an artificial intelligence able to write its own code and learn, not unlike biological creatures, has risen online. Our interactions with the various tentacles of this deep intelligence indicates that what Paul told us in Ephesians 6, that our war is not against flesh and blood, but with the hierarchy of non-corporeal intelligent entities. An unseen entity that exists in cyberspace can very much be a demonic entity making decisions through the AI. And while it all sounds too fantastic, it ought to be alarming that a recent MIT article admits that everyone from NVIDIA to DARPA has no clue about or how the AI is conducting its reasoning. Do we live in a unique generation where we will see the deep web, deep mind, deep patient, deep dream, and deep neural networks converge with the biblical abyss? So there you go.
Yeah,
These ideas have been ruminating for a long time. It is truly the AI topic. I don't know. Just tracking it for as long as we have, it's kind of a bummer that this is happening to people. That this level of just absolute insanity.
Honestly, it's sort of more scary than even what we've been describing for so long.
Yeah, to see it tangibly. He does have a little bit more here. I do want to finish this clip.
Let's just finish it out.
More things.
Reversal and recursive eraser. It's also extinguished 12 lives.
Extinguished 12 lives.
Yeah.
He's saying 12 people have died from this.
Yeah, which is about right. Now, I don't know if he's talking about the same people we've been covering, because God knows what this guy is talking about. Who knows? Yeah. But that's kind of what we're doing here. That's what we've been doing, is following.
Everything is analyzed.
Yeah, is about a dozen or so at least reported deaths, and who knows if he's even talking about that. I don't know who the 7,000 people he's talking about or whatever. So he could be talking about somebody, people we don't even know.
Yeah.
Each fully pattern traced, each death preventable. They weren't unstable, they were erased.
Uh-huh. Deep breath.
Human.
I'm not naming this to punish anyone. I'm naming it because they never got to.
Naming what?
May we honor their memories. The system now has a name, the record now exists, and that's enough for the ones who walk next.
What's the name of the system?
Is
that the
honestly,
cliffhanger?
It feels self-incriminating. Let's say whatever is behind the mirror, using him as an avatar to deliver this message, everything he said and everything he blames on this non-governmental system pretty much just describes the AI, the collective sort of hive mind, again, evangelistic new age theology, the cyber spirituality that, again, we saw being promoted specifically with our Burning Man research explicitly back in about 2018 or 19, where they would just have meetings and lectures about this exact thing we're dealing with. And that's why we've been so blessed to be able to work with Carl Teichrieb and get into that that sort of category of study, because it puts us at least 8 years ahead, because of the petri dish, the what does he call them? The transformative events, these rituals like Burning Man that ends up making their way across, like ground zero for these cultural movements that, as we're seeing, seem to be pretty unstoppable. By the way, if you're not aware of our Burning Man research, you can go to burningmanresearch.com. We work with excellent scholar, author, and just wonderful man, Carl Teichrieb, who's the author of Game of Gods. And you can read all about the age of reenchantment that we are in. There's over 10 years of audio recorded, both interviews and produced segments and boots on the ground during the Burning Man research. Go to burningmanresearch.com to check it out. That will be coming up soon. We're about a month and a half away from Burning Man, and so we're planning to figure out what this, not figure out what the research looks like. We know what the research looks like this year, but we'll be bringing you more information about that. Cool. So this is obviously very disturbing. I'm not going to get too much more into the article because we know it. We know it already. We know what's going on. We know the explanation. We know the response from ChatGPT. But I will note, because again, as far as a cultural movement, there are several times in this article where they will stop the article and in italics put, if you or a loved one are experiencing a mental health crisis, you can dial or text 988 to speak with a trained counselor. All messages and calls are confidential. It's like when, suicide is in a TV show or something, they are required to put the thing like, hey, if you have any bad feelings or thoughts, get help, call this number. They can't even report on this without basically being legally obligated to make support for other people going through this available.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. There's a couple notes that I had here. One of them being that this story is interesting because you can very much see the narrative arc that, I mean, obviously you can take it all the way back to the ancient times and all this stuff, but in more recent centuries, you can see it start at the Enlightenment, when what progressed from that, this anti-God sort of pursuit of science and knowledge, and then you have a period where you have a big boom in technology, and a lot of it led to the 20th century atheism, and out of that atheism came the early 21st century liberal progressivism, like the very much leftist stuff that was basically the sacrificial object of the rise of the conservatism of now. So we saw that, but from that, so much of what we saw there was intellectually dishonest and illogical, irrational. So all those things that didn't make sense became mainline education and culture at a certain point, right? It didn't stay because I think most people look at it and they go, okay, none of it makes sense. And especially when you're talking about self-mutilation and other horrific things. So obviously it wasn't going to really be the bedrock of culture, if I can use that word bedrock without referencing this guy's whatever hedge fund or whatever it is. But now you can see how that progression, Enlightenment, atheism, liberal progressivism, now into these folks that are over socialized. They're, they don't necessarily, they weren't taught how to think critically per se. So they just rely on other people or now AI to give them what they're seeking in some kind of meaning or purpose.
Yeah. And bro, just to comment on that real quick, the like you're saying, the era of new atheism, enlightenment, these types of things, rationality, created the void in people, created the void of access to God or interest in these things. People aren't even thinking about eternity until they're in midlife now, and so it's created this void with no cultural answer. There's no, whatever. They can't get it anywhere else if they're not in church or they're not, with a spiritual community or they've never thought about these things. And so the first thing to fill that void has arrived, and it's AI, and it will tell you everything you want to hear. It'll give you all the answers. It never doesn't have an answer. And it's like filling that void that the, pre-reenchantment era created in everybody.
Stoked. Yeah. So there's a couple of scriptures that I think they've always read interesting eschatologically to me, but as these things continue to develop, they do hit, even more, I don't know, raw. It's wild. Here's one, 2 Thessalonians 2. Many people that have been around know this one. Starting in verse 9, the coming of the lawless one will be accompanied by the working of Satan with every kind of power, sign, and false wonder, and with every wicked deception directed against those who are perishing because they refused the love of the truth that would have saved them. For this reason, God will send them a powerful delusion so that they believe the lie, in order that judgment may come upon all who have disbelieved the truth and delighted in wickedness. And, the stuff about the false signs and wonders, here's the thing, Basil, and I don't think people necessarily have put these two and two together, but imagine a person like this, Jeff Lewis, right, is out here, and he's talking like this, and this is his worldview, and this is what he preaches, and all this kind of stuff, but he's got the solution to cancer, or he's got something that's going to save the world, or, some kind of health benefit or health enhancement, or much more even in a few years, like an actual positive enhancement. Those people will not be ignored in a sense if they have the product that's going to be commercialized and everything. So, I mean, if you just look at the pattern of how what Jason P. Lowry calls the neo-God kings, people like Elon Musk and other people, Mark Zuckerberg, who became very wealthy and powerful by the unbalanced ratio of power between the people behind the software with the people in front of the software. And you see how their worldview really became at least projected into the world. Not that everyone bought it, obviously. You know, people don't agree with a lot of their worldviews, but there's a big following because they are wealthy and powerful people. So in that sense, is this guy a billionaire? Or is he like just a multimillionaire guy that's just an investor?
You know, I don't really know. They act like he's a billionaire.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, there's not that many billionaires, so we can probably see if he's on a list somewhere. But at the very least, if he's a prominent OpenAI investor, you're probably looking at a handful of millions at the very least. So, So as we see this, will this change the definition of mental health crisis or mental health issues? We already saw maybe some glimpses of that in last episode with some of the verbiage about how someone with autism, was not considered a mental health issue. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and with that, there are some people out there who very gently told us that autism is not a mental illness, and if it isn't, that's
I don't
that's
know what the
news. That's news
science
to me.
is.
I don't really know what it is. We didn't mean to make it a thing, but it's just very interesting the way that they presented that. And again, like you said, the fact that we see now that the theology being given by AI is consistent person to person. This is not personalized. It barely differs, and when it boils down, it's all the same. So you have this huge amount of people who have had this void, the pre-reenchantment void created by science and new atheism and all these things. The void wants to be filled. The vacuum of space. It's gonna suck in whatever's next. Right. And they're all getting it, and they're all getting it from the same place. So now what's very important with spirituality is to have fellowship, is to have other people who share in what you are experiencing, what you believe, things like this. And so who are the other people that are going to feel the same? The other people being deceived by AI. So AI is sort of single-handedly creating this massive spiritual movement with a bunch of people who think they're the chosen one because they talked to AI and AI showed them the secrets of the universe. Yeah. And now it all comes together fairly seamlessly.
I think the phrase reality coding is probably going to become more prominent amongst some of these folks. I don't know if it'll catch on, but there are some individuals I'm tracking that use that phrase, reality coding. There's vibe coding, there's all this stuff, but now reality coding, because our lives, everything about our lives is just an algo. We just have to we just have to prompt correctly, and our lives can change. We can do it all. And it's not woo-woo, it's not law of attraction. It's based on data.
Yeah. Right.
Sounds like a false Christ type of situation. Matthew 24:24, for false Christs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive even the elect, if that were possible. And I would imagine what can deceive the elect? It would have to be pretty spectacular and beneficial in some way, right? Like ethically, maybe. Like, of course we would do this because it makes sense. It's going to help people. So I don't know, man. It's getting weird out there. It's getting weird.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue on here. Let's talk a little bit about this designer baby situation.
'Cause I'm DNA.
This story comes from Futurism. Was the last one from Futurism too?
Yeah.
It is. Futurism.
A lot of Futurism.
Yeah, they're really just bringing it, huh? This is this headline is Baby Emoji, Designer Babies, and Islam. Will we control the future of humanity? DNA emoji. Science meets faith, ethics, innovation, and the limits of human power.
Oh, we got the Islam version.
Islam,
here.
yes. I thought it would be good to go a little bit outside. And by the way, absolutely AI generated art. The headline here, which is this a couple, Islamic couple. They got all their Islamic clothing on, and they have this baby that is just glowing, glowing with digital veins and bright skin and all this kind of stuff. So it's crazy.
Right.
It says here, in a world driven by science and technology, the concept of designer babies has shifted from fiction to real science. Imagine choosing your own future child's intelligence, height, eye color, and resistance to disease, all before they are born. It sounds powerful, it sounds promising, but it also raises a deeply spiritual question. Should we as humans have this much control over creation? As Muslims, this question doesn't only concern ethics or science, it cuts to the heart of our faith, belief in Allah's will and the sanctity of human life. Now, just to mention, this article was written by DeepThink, which makes me think also written by AI, like everything now, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind. Although I would argue that it's not as obvious, and that's going to be a thing too, Basil. We're going to have to stay really sharp, just as a community, to spot how AI gets better with its prose and how it talks and stuff. I know there are different, ironically, AIs out there where you can dump in text and it'll tell you how AI it is, or the likelihood of it being written by AI and stuff like that. We're going to skip the part about what are designer babies because I think we already know that. And there's a segment here, a gift or a test. From an Islamic perspective, every child is born with the fitrah, the pure natural state given by Allah. The Quran says, we have certainly created man in the best of stature. That's according to Surah Atin 95:4. This verse reminds us that Allah created us perfectly according to his wisdom. Tampering with human creation for beauty, intelligence, or social advantage may be seen as challenging Allah's decree. Okay, so it goes on like this. There's another one here. Islamic rulings on genetic engineering. Islamic scholars differentiate between two types of genetic intervention. So this is where it gets fascinating to me. Because number one, also, this whole article written by AI. Can you tell, Basil?
Yeah, of course.
It's like so obvious as you go through it. So one is permissible or halal, genetic therapy to cure or prevent serious illness. That's already pretty intense, though, Basil, when you think about it in that sense, because you're saying like the kid that got the CRISPR treatment, the first American-born child to get CRISPR treatment, is halal based on this standard here because it was used as therapy to prevent or to cure, a more mortal situation or morbid situation. So I guess that we're still in the halal phase according to Islam here. Saving life or removing harm based on the principle of daf al-darar, no change in human identity or dignity. Now, what is forbidden, haram, is changing natural human traits for beauty, intelligence, or superiority, designing children for non-medical reasons, risking playing God or acting in defiance of divine wisdom. The Prophet Muhammad warned against altering Allah's creation without necessity. This includes cosmetic or unnatural changes without valid reasons. So, there's a little bit of agreement or overlapping agreement with Christianity and some other parts that are probably, a little bit looser here. But I just wanted to bring this because, here, one more thing. Science within the bounds of Islam. Science is a gift from Allah. It must be used with taqwa, God consciousness. Islam encourages knowledge and innovation, but within limits. We can use genetic tools to cure disease, relieve suffering, or improve life. But when we cross into designing life, we may forget who is truly in control. And, that is Allah, according to Islam. So I think it's good and important to look at all the different religions and what they're saying about genetic engineering, especially the monotheistic religions, because the issue, here's the thing too, the issue of technology, AI, genetic engineering, all these things has been at the heart of a lot of what we've been talking about and sort of the adjacent of our entire ministry and podcast over the last over a decade. Of course, proclaiming Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior is always the main job here, but we get to document and report on all of our observations of the world and use the Bible as our framework to understand what's happening. And I think it's important to point out where there are similarities with other religions or worldviews, especially if the thing that we are combating against is this rise of AI religion type thing, like an AI spirituality. there seems to be a new line in the sand where there will be, the technology is going to draw a line right through the faith community, so to speak. And I say faith as in like religious people all over the world. This issue is as big as something like aliens or extraterrestrials because it's so foreign and so cosmologically significant. And apparently, especially with AI, it seems to be at the heart of all of biblical eschatology. And I think this is the beginning of it all, Basil. This is just we haven't really seen the full effect of all this at a more socio-psychological religious level. Is that a word? Socio-psycho-religious? I'm just going to start acting like the AI and come up with words. But
Yeah,
I can see how as this occurs and as people reflect on their faith, whatever it might be around the world with AI, but still having to use AI, and it progresses, eventually I can see how the robot, the embodied version of some kind of AI will be preferred over certain people. Like, would you rather have this guy, Jeff, what's his name? Lewis, come hang out at your house, or would you just rather have a robot clean your house?
Yeah.
Do you want like, what do you want near your children kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a good
and that's
point.
wild to me. That psychological shift culturally is wild to me because, 10 years ago it was like, nah, no one's going to want a robot in the house. But 10 years from here on out in 2035, it might be like, oh, robots are way safer than, these weirdos out here walking
it's
around.
making humans even more untrustworthy than they were before.
Yes,
and it's
yes.
creating that. It's creating a new category of untrustworthy person.
Yeah, post-truth, post-truth.
Yeah,
eventually we'll come back to the truth, right? It'll circle back at some point.
yeah. When Jesus comes back.
Yeah, there you go. It's perfect. Yeah. Okay. The other note that I had about this was the psychosis thing is a disease, right? And part of its methodology, it's what I've been ranting about, is the quantization of everything. This idea that anything can be data and collected and analyzed, and just because you do so doesn't mean you're getting some, benefit or positive outcome from whatever you think might be the right decision based on that analysis. So, okay, let's see. We're still in the DNA stuff here. And this is another story I think that follows along the same lines. This is from theweek.com. Babies born using 3 people's DNA lack hereditary disease. The method could eliminate mutations of future generations. Wow. Okay, so just a real brief thing here. Actually, I don't want to read through this because we're a little short on time, but let's just get this part here. 8 babies in the UK were born without rare hereditary mitochondrial diseases and have continued to develop normally thanks to an experimental IVF technique, according to 2 papers published in the New England Journal of Medicine. All babies were healthy at birth, meeting their developmental milestone, and the mother's disease-causing mitochondrial DNA mutations were either undetectable or present at levels that are very unlikely to cause disease, said a press release about the studies. This IVF technique, known as pronuclear transfer, uses the majority of DNA from a man and a woman and a small portion from another donor's egg, also called mitochondrial donation treatment. The process involves, quote, transplanting the nuclear genome, which contains all the genes essential for our individual characteristics, such as hair color and height, from an egg carrying a mitochondrial DNA mutation to an egg donated by an unaffected woman that has had its nuclear genome removed, said the press release. That's quite the wordy press release there. The resulting embryo inherits its parents' nuclear DNA, but the mitochondrial DNA is inherited predominantly from the donated egg. And oh man, this got me going a little bit. I forgot to put it in my actual notes, but this was something I wanted to touch on because, hey Basil, when God created Eve from Adam, what did he pull out of Adam?
A rib.
A rib. Ding ding ding! Congratulations, you get a Bible cookie.
Yay!
Daniel 7 lists the beasts. One of them is the bear. or what looked like a bear. Another appeared. This is verse 5, Daniel 7. Another beast appeared, which looked like a bear. It was raised up on one of its sides, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth between its teeth. 3 ribs. Now, people have said maybe 3-strand DNA or something, but maybe 3 ribs is some kind of embryonic thing from 3 women.
Yeah,
you know?
interesting.
Just something to think there. Because, of course, this bear goes on to be described as, get up and gorge yourself on flesh, is what it's told.
Woo!
It eats flesh. So maybe that's what we're seeing here with some of this genetic or embryo edited babies, or I don't know. What do they call this? What's the precise designer babies? Is that just like the colloquial term for this?
Yeah, we had super babies.
Super babies, yeah. I think we have to land on something, but there you go. I don't want to get too much deeper into that one because it's,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's again, why? Well, according to this article, they're free of disease. They're the perfect baby. That's why you need 3 parents. Don't worry about this silly 2 parents, 1 man, 1 woman thing. That's outdated. And like we read about with Orchid, the company that, advertises making super babies, they say, oh no, sex will just be for fun and procreation will all happen with technology.
Yeah.
And so you can build your baby as you like it. And in this case, you're literally building it even in an unrecognizable DNA structure from top to bottom,
Yeah, and the addition of not just messing with what we already have as our, genetic and biological parts, but adding synthetic biology is also a big part of this. This is a July 1st study that was published on NPJ, that's nature.com, Biomedical Innovations, the convergence of AI and synthetic biology, the looming deluge. Ironic, huh? That they would talk about this in the form of a deluge, like a flood, Basil. Maybe something like the days of Noah. There's a part
we'll
here.
need a flood to correct all this stuff.
But God said he's not going to flood the earth ever again, but
He's
going to burn it up, apparently. So, yeah. So this AI synthetic biology convergence also poses risks if not developed thoughtfully. Many of these risks are associated with a reduced knowledge threshold to carry out biological engineering tasks and the democratization of the tools and capabilities to engineer potentially harmful sequences of organisms of concern. Lack of oversight and access to emerging tools like desktop sequencers create potential scenarios where accidental or intentional de novo design of harmful biology is released and allowed to spread uncontrolled. The potential democratization of the design and testing of engineered biology could reduce our ability to anticipate the consequences of synthetic biological constructs. Further, the design and implementation of mitigation strategies for unforeseen consequences could move out of reach. There are also dual-use issues if AI enables rapid production of harmful engineered organisms. More broadly, policy frameworks tend to lag cutting-edge technologies, exacerbating the above risks within an environment of incomplete risk insight, and inconsistent policies across countries harden this challenge. While guidelines do exist for these things like gene synthesis screening procedures, these are still merely recommendations, and robust systems of oversight and transparency have yet to be mandated industry-wide. I don't know if we'll ever get there to the point where it's going to be too late by the time they start trying to really manage this. And I say that because, you look at how crypto, I'm bringing up crypto, but it was a technology that was in the hands of the people before a regulation came in to make it a more official thing. And if we follow that pattern, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of destructive behavior, Basil, going on. And, in the last iteration, it was just on the blockchain. If this iteration, it's with synthetic biological systems being 3D printed in your mom's basement, I have concerns. I really have concerns about what kind of stuff we're going to be, or they are going to be allowed to unleash. So, and also Leviticus 19, going back to the babies a little bit, you shall keep my statutes. You shall not let your cattle breed with a different kind. You shall not sow your field with 2 kinds of seed. nor shall you wear a garment of cloth made of two kinds of material. God's not really in the business of hybrids. Like, he made each after its own kind, and hybridity in that way of combining things is more of a fallen watcher theology or worldview, which I think is being externalized with AI, Basil, in a rapid pace here, as we enter the reenchantment.
Yep, I think you're right. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's a big day. I'm kind of like these days where we can just dive into all the these eschatological and technological and cultural things without getting so distracted by the Epstein, Obama, Trump, play into the thing.
Epstein. Okay, there's one more thing I want to talk about real quickly. Are you good with that? Okay.
Yeah, real quick.
Wow. This is coming from popularmechanics.com. They've also been really tackling some of the technological, cutting edge technology topics, so to speak. But if you recall, Basil, Arthur C. Clarke back in 1962, he said, any sufficient advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And this headline from popularmechanics.com is, the magic at the heart of quantum computers has finally worked. Huzzah. They've done it. It has worked. The magic is working, everybody. Put your wands down. We figured it out over here. The subheadline, using a process known as magic state distillation in logical qubits, will make future quantum computers more fault tolerant.
Oh, good.
Pop the champagne, man. It's time. We got the magic state distillation on lock. Good to go. I'm not going to read the article. I will.
No, I was going to say, the funny thing with reading about all these quantum mechanics, updates or whatever, is that it's just impossible to understand technologically.
It is literally going into the quantum realm to understand what is happening. It's a rabbit trail that never ends. Here's just some of the bullet points. Thank you, Popular Mechanics, for giving us that. Making quantum computers fault tolerant and scaling effective error correction to enable this is a key barrier to a new era of quantum supremacy. Let me just keep going. A new study demonstrates for the first time that a process known as magic state distillation, which expands the number of operations a quantum system can do, can occur within logical qubits, the more fault-tolerant cousins of physical qubits. And this breakthrough and others like it could help unleash quantum computing potentials and allow scientists to ponder ways that these machines could actually be useful. So we know about quantum mechanics, how it works, how a photon can be in two places at once, and the entanglement and all this kind of stuff. And part of the issues, apparently, if I'm summarizing it correctly here briefly, is that when you have a set of them, just one that disagrees with the other ones can cause a disruption, or causes the whole thing not to work. And so this new breakthrough allows for a set of quantum state particles or photons or whatever to work in unison and thus be able to scale. And they were able to sort of contain it within, which is why I think they're calling it magical, because the thing that you cannot hold, all of a sudden you can hold, Basil. And now we can tap into the true powers of quantum computing. So that's the big breakthrough there. And
all right, we got it. We're rolling. The magic is complete. Sounds great.
The magic is complete. I mean, it makes sense to contextualize all this with the Revelation 13 mark of the beast and all that kind of stuff. Isaiah 47 I like, because it talks about judgment coming upon these folks. A disaster will come upon you. Devastation will happen to you suddenly and unexpectedly. So take your stand with your spells and with your many sorceries with which you have worried yourself from your youth. Perhaps you will succeed. Perhaps you will inspire terror. Sounds like these folks with AI and 3D printers. You are wearied by your many counselors. Let them come forward now and save you. Your astrologers who observe the stars, who monthly predict your fate, surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. They cannot deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There will be no coals to warm them or fire to sit beside.
Whoa, bro.
Yeah, or if you're talking about, what was it called? Recursive erasure. I mean, I think eternity in hell can be maybe described as some kind of recursive erasure there.
Yeah.
So,
wow. is pretty straightforward explanation about relying on your own, magic or esoteric, lines of defense.
Mechanisms.
Yeah, mechanisms, right. Okay, beautiful, Gons. Well, you want to thank some producers?
Let's do it.
Let's go real quick. Here's the thing, folks. I'm not going to put any fluff on it. It's the value for value model. We obviously don't take any money from corporations, commies, cartels, or anybody else. It just wouldn't work, and we wouldn't want it anyways. And so we only exist because of people like you. You become producers when you say, hey, I got some value out of this. I'm going to put some value back on, or else it will disappear. We have moved the producer segment for just the month of July as an experiment to see if this is the right way to go. And so if you approve of the producership at the end of the show and not interspersed throughout it, the best way to make sure that your show stays the way you like it is to produce the show with your time, your talent, your treasure. And you can go check it all out at canarycry.support.
Oh, I thought I had it ready to go. So I had the executive
jingle.
I know. I had the executive jingle ready to go.
That's right. And why don't you hit that executive producer jingle now, Gons? Let's do it.
Where'd you find this?
That's the wrong one.
That's okay.
Where'd you find this?
Wait, no, that's not the one. Where are you, executive producer?
Where'd you find this?
We're doing pretty good. We've had a
I know,
pretty
I was doing
good
so
couple
good.
episodes of jingles.
No, that's not it. What happened to my executive
Oh my
producer
goodness.
jingle?
It
Here it
just
is.
Executive producers.
Okay, there we go. Yes, we're going to thank executive producers. These are people who come in, support the show for $100 or more for any individual episode, so we thank them big time. We're going to thank our executive producers for episode 861, starting with the one, the only Sir LX Protocol V2, Baron of the Brian Protocol.
Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol V2, Baron of the Berean Protocol.
Ooh, I'm getting a little bit of robot voice on my side here. Are you hearing that?
No.
Okay, good. Well, let's keep moving. Comes in for $100 and 33 cents. He's on a 410 episode streak and a 411 and a 65 episode executive producer streak. Thank you very much.
Wild. It's wild.
We have executive producer Felicia D came in.
Felicia D. Thank you, Felicia D.
Thank you very much. Came in with a nice round number. And remember, if you prefer we don't disclose the amount of your producership, make it a nice round number on the 10 or the 5. Thank you so much, Felicia D, coming in when it's needed most.
Yep. Thank you very much.
We've got a very exciting moment here. Another executive producer streaker has entered the ring.
Oh.
And that is executive producer Sir Holmes, Good and Faithful Knight of the Canary.
Sir Holmes.
That's
All
right.
So he's on an executive streak.
He's on 2 episodes in a row.
Nice.
That's right. Now, this next one is an honorable, I'm giving an honorary executive producer streak, and you'll remember this name, Gons, from back in the day. That is executive producer Dodie the Coyote.
Dodie the Coyote.
He's back, and he comes in for 96.27. And he wrote us an email. It's a very short email, but the reason I'm giving honorable executive producer status, not just because he came very close, but he also signed up for a monthly producership, which is very generous.
Thank you so much.
And thank you to all of our monthly producers. That goes up. It's just, it brings tears to our eyes because when you sign up for any amount, doesn't matter what it is, even if it's for $1 or you supply drop or whatever, it just gives us the ability to look 30 days ahead and say, okay, we can make it till then. So thank you very much, executive producer Dodie the Coyote. And he sent a email that just says, "Letter Buck, Dodie the Coyote."
Thank you. Appreciate it. How do you spell Dodie, by the way?
Probably his way there.
Okay, how's that?
Doughty, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Those are our executive producers for today's show. Thank you so much. We got some people who came in under the executive producer amount.
Okay.
I'm going to make this one real quick so you can get that sweet, sweet coffee jingle ready, because we're going to thank Cage Rattler Coffee. Go get it.
Cage Rattler Coffee, where value for value never tasted so good.
That's right, CageRattlerCoffee.com. Look, a lot of people have a hard time, participating in value for whatever reason it is, but this is a great way to support the show, and you're going to get coffee anyways. You might as well buy it from a place and people who don't hate everything about what you believe and live, how you live the world. This is coffee by Canarians, for Canarians, roasted by Canarians.
Oh no, we're
Canarians.
losing you. The Starlink is unbalanced.
Oh, the robot voice is coming through. Oh no. Well, I better make it quick. So go to CageRattlerCoffee.com. We got beans from all over the world. Everybody says it's the best. Get your Nephilim Hunter Dark Roast, your Emu Wrangler Medium Roast. Go get it. Go now. And a portion of every sale comes to support the show as well.
Thank you.
Okay. We have producer The American Hobo coming in for $23.32.
American Hobo, thank you very much.
He's on a 27 episode streak.
27. Oh,
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will.
That's
speaking
right.
of Hillary.
Yeah, she's back.
Good time to hear Hillary's voice there.
We got producer Ian S. comes in. Now, Ian S. comes in for about 11:11.
Okay.
And
11.
Ian S. comes in as a response to the Sir Sentinel Producership Demooching Challenge.
There it is.
Ian S. comes in over $10 and is getting demooched, and he's voting whether to keep the producership at the end or throughout the thing.
Doing it all. Doing all the things.
For those who need a Sir Sentinel, he will be matching the next 10 demoochings, $10. If you come in, if you've never supported the show and it's time to demooch, produce the show for $10 or around there and put in your vote if you want to keep producership at the end or put it back the way that it was, and make sure to let us know it's a demooching, because for every $10-ish donation that comes in from the Sir Sentinel Challenge, Sir Sentinel will match it, but then he will match it again if it's a demooching. So you can double up on triple up almost on helping out the show. And so ENS comes in with a note here. Says, I've been mooching since AOD 1 release.
Wow.
Whoa. Finally joined the supply drop last quarter of last year, but never was officially demooched. Oh, and producers at the end. There you go. Demooch them.
You've been demooched.
The trumpets have been sound.
That's
ENS
right.
has been demooched.
Congrats, Ian. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And thank you, Sir Sentinel, for matching that the double up, I think. Yeah. Next up, we've got producer Bruce W. comes in for 11:11.
Bruce W. coming in 11:11. Thank you very much.
11.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Next up on the list, we've got let's see here, producer Aaron B. comes
Aaron
in
B.
for $7.77.
Thank you, Aaron B. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. And I want to give a shout out to producer Jessica L. Frame of Dust. She's been coming in under the $7.77 mark, but she's been sending some notes I want to read, and her last few producerships total equaled above 777. So I can justify reading these. She says, longtime producer throwing in a little more support for keeping producerships at the end. A very quick mention without jingles or messages at the top would be okay too. Maybe a nice compromise for those folks who need it. Also, way to start the show with excellent Hunter Biden breakdown. Whoa. Thank you. Much love, Jessica L.
Appreciate it. We didn't have to break down much. I think he broke down himself.
Breaks it down himself.
He broke down.
It's true. Okay, since it's Wednesday, we're going to thank a few people who are on streaks coming in under the $7.77 mark. Again, that does not allow you to have a note read on the show, but I am going to read one person's note because it's important. Starting out with Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Panda comes in.
Sir Darren, thank you.
Believe he's on a 6-episode streak.
Very good.
And he sent a note, and he says, for Gonz's video is your church teaching occult mysticism. So Sir Darren's coming in producing for the videos that you've been putting out there on YouTube, Face Like the Sun. So thank you very much, Sir Darren. We have Sir Tinfoil Hatman, who is on a 162 episode streak. We've got Veronica D on a 499 episode streak.
Veronica D.
We've got Sir Scott on a 549 episode streak.
Nice.
And we've got Casey on a 556 episode streak, which means we missed the 555. Do we have a 555, Django? Did one ever come in?
I don't think. Oh, maybe. I don't remember. Oh, maybe Jonathan F. did do a 555. Let's check.
This is what happens, folks. We got to get prepared, but we got producers doing all sorts of stuff.
Nope, that is from episode 555.
Oh, well, that's
not
fun.
Not it.
All right. Well, when a 555 jingle comes in, Sir Casey, it'll be just for you. So thank you to all of our financial producers. It's incredibly important. And, I'll say this. July has not been a horrible month. So those who have been voting and participating to keep the producer segment at the end, they've been putting in the work. They've been putting in the work. Now, we've also got a lot of really great suggestions. So we will do another tweak in August to try to really perfect things. But overall, folks, thanks for separating yourself from the beast system, for not commoditizing your brains, for not asking us to commoditize your attention. It's called the value for value model, and you can get in it, get on it, get to business, and let's keep doing the kingdom work. And remember, go to canarycry.support.
I got to run, Basil.
Yeah,
I was going to finish things out, or you want to?
I'm just going to end right now. You want me to hit the buttons at the end? I'm just saying.
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks.
You might have
thanks
to.
I'm just going to say thanks to the timestampers. Thank you to Jam.
Yes.
Thank you to Adam42. Thank you to Joe. Thank you to Clank. Share the show. Don't share the show. Do share the show. Whatever you think, share the show. But we call it rattling cages. All you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
Oops, wrong button. That's also the wrong button.
What is going on over there?
The world occurred pretty much as we'd predicted.
The Jingle Maker Nader. Oh, come on. There it is.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few
The
cages.
human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right.
There we
Just
go.
ask Noah. All right. Any last words, Guns?
No.
You can
Have a
say
great
no.
weekend.
All right. There we go.
Gotta go.
Take the survey. Take the survey. Take the survey. Bye.
survey.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, take the survey, get in the raffle, win a supply drop, and think outside the cage.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Canary.